Yeah,
Listen.
man. Hey, you know me. I examine stuff. I
But
break it
yeah, but you
down.
know what? But it takes someone, but it always takes, and I tell people, everybody, I was telling one of my clients yesterday about the gift because he has a gift to go into these areas. And I'm not talking about little areas. I'm talking
Mhm.
about metropolitan areas and have summits and conversations with police chiefs and politicians and police officers and all these people who are making a or voted in to make a difference in the community
Mhm.
to make them do what they elected to do. That is a gift and the influence God has given him, and it's crazy. Like, and I was telling him yesterday, but that's your gift. And so, I said, because the scripture says, John 15:16, you didn't choose me, I chose you to go bear
Mm.
fruit, good fruit,
Yeah.
fruit that will last. And when I think about that, I think about everything that God has given each of us individually and what we're doing with it. And I told him because he stays in hotel rooms like 300 nights a year out of
Okay.
365. Um, and but his goal is to make sure the people are taken care of. So he's going into these communities. He's going into, these meetings with these politicians, and he's coming in headstrong, and he's coming in regards to, I'm telling you, this is wrong. And he was telling me some stuff about, he's actually in Maryland,
Okay.
the police chief, yeah, up there this week. And he was telling me stuff, and I'm like, wow, like, but he's like, but I'm here, and I'm here to help them correct it. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow. He lives in Dallas, Texas. But
Oh
it's like when
wow.
we're walking in our gift and our purpose, you know, and you saying that, that's what made me think of, because everybody is gifted with a certain wisdom, a certain measure of wisdom, and what they impart and what you do with it. And so, like you say, I study people, I'm doing this. I'm like, yes, good. Now tell us, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
that's the wisdom you've been blessed with.
Good morning,
Hey,
Brandon.
man, I was looking for you last night. Um, I was like, yeah, I was like, that's good. But what we choose to do with the wisdom instead of, go get it for yourself, go get it for yourself. Now, true enough, like we talked about last week, some people just want the cliff notes, and you do need to do your
Good morning,
research and
Tony.
study as well. Hey,
Yeah,
Tony.
yeah. I am. I like. It bothers me sometimes. Let's just take the Black Filmmakers Lounge community. It bothers me how many people just join a community just to promote their work versus build relationships. Because I know how much more successful people can be if they build and cultivate networking relationships, right? How their reach can be so much further, but your reach is always limited because of your thought process. And I just need to promote me. It's all about me, and it's not about you. The bigger picture is like, well, if we wanted to, you and I cannot be on Saturdays most of the time or period and just go work on our stuff like we used to do, but we said, hey, we're going to take our time out to share the bit of knowledge we've experienced and bring people on to do the same thing who really give us a blessing of their time to come on here and share their insight and experience. And in that, still the byproduct comes a little bit of, yeah, they get to promote what it is they're doing, but they also inspire others to do similar or have a better understanding of those sectors of this industry. Having the Edie's on last week talking about the film festival, having Marshall have come on and talk about her film festival before, having different people, that gives people insight to how do I explore and how do I um, grow in that. What's up, Derek? Oh yeah, the American film
Brandon,
market.
you guys call Brandon Derek.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Brandon. Why do I call
Hey,
you Derek?
Brandon.
You know why?
Yes.
Because both you and Derek be like working. I know Derek's at a wedding right now, so both of
Yeah,
y'all be
Derek
on
and
y'all
Brandon,
grind.
you guys are working and giving the knowledge. And we
Yeah.
appreciate it as well. Yes. And I know Tone is doing some great things too. Yeah, so film festivals and yes, you're going to the American film market. I can't wait to hear all about it. You'll be back November 11th. Brandon, I am in deep talks. So I don't know
Yeah.
what your November gonna look like. So So you may be back on November 11th, but we'll talk. Um, and when you talk about the influence and the networking, and I'll say this, and we can bring the show in.
Hmm.
Two of the guys, I have three people that are heavily looking for me money. One I told to hold off.
Okay.
Three people. Do you know how many of them I have met in person?
How many? Probably.
And he
Oh,
was
one.
already
Yeah.
and he was already helping me and doing stuff for me for a year before I even met him in person. These other two, I had three investor meetings in the last 2 weeks from these same two people that I have never met, that put their
Mm.
name and everything on the line because of the relationship we've cultivated. And I have never met those people ever.
Oh, wow.
One of them, like we're really literally about to be funded by one of them, by one of the guys I had never met. And he set everything up
Mm.
ever. So
And that's hey, we're gonna do what we're gonna do. First, we're gonna go ahead and bring it in
let's
for
bring it
y'all.
in.
Let's make this happen. Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge, because the Black Filmmakers Lounge is where independent filmmakers, whether novelists or professionals, come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community. We are creating our own space so that we can succeed together. I'm your host, Michael Melvin, with my co-host, Myra T.K. Henderson, and we like to say good morning to all of you guys. How y'all doing?
I love that intro so much. I'm never going to get tired of it. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. You going to get a Mac one way or another. Oh, yeah. You do have a Mac in the closet. God, I keep forgetting about that.
I'm about to say, you got an iMac sitting in, yeah.
In the closet. I know, but let me but yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But what's up, guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy end of October. Can y'all believe we literally have 2 months and 2 dadays of the year left?
Oh my goodness.
2 months and 2 days of 2022. Ha ha ha. Look at all those twos. 2 months and 2 days of 2022. So yes, oh my God, what you watching? What did you watch this week?
Sis, I watched this Jedi show on Disney Plus. It's cartoons, it's newer cartoons to kind of connect the Star Wars universe. I'm up in I like some of it, but then some of them kind of like, did you really need to make that? The 6 episodes are about 15 minutes a piece, but it was fun to watch. You know, I like anime.
Oh, cool.
I watched Andor.
Okay.
And then wow, I can't think of much because I came home and was crashing a lot and falling asleep. But I'm trying to think. I know we've watched some things, Tiffany and I, but I'm still giving praises to Black Adam because it was a fun movie that we saw last week. We already got our tickets to Black Panther 2.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I didn't watch that much. Which is interesting. This week has been one of those.
I'm like totally shocked.
Yeah,
Usually,
because I can't think
didn't
of
watch
movies.
that much, and then you run down 20 things that you've watched. Am I right, guys? He's like, I didn't watch that much, and then it's like, at 10:30, he's like, so what did you watch? I'm like, well, you didn't watch the whole Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime. So I don't think there's anything left to watch because you watched it all.
Yeah, you know what? And sometimes I'll try to catch old TV shows or something, because I am inspired by older projects and things. But you know what? I've been having, maybe because I've been shifting my focus on what I'm going to start trying to produce, and so I've had some dreams and things like that, and thoughts and ideas. So I'm kind of refining that.
Okay.
Which led me to even yesterday I threw up a log line challenge on the Black filmmakers community. Yeah. And,
I haven't been online for a month and a half.
God
kind of has me pull back, so I hadn't been online for a month and a half, over a month and a half.
Yeah. So so I actually shared um a a log line that I had, and it was about a husband who comes home after his 12-hour shift, and he comes home to find out that all his wife's possessions, everything about her is gone. And everybody tells him he was never married, and he's trying to convince people he was until he finds some sort of evidence. I don't say what the evidence is, but um
Wow.
of why she did and does exist.
Wow. That is so interesting.
Yeah, and the concept is sci-fi, but I won't tell you why it's sci-fi. But yeah,
Ooh.
so I shared that on the log line, right? And I didn't see anybody post nothing else. They just liking stuff, and I wish people would be more engaged because last week I said, um, tell us your favorite director and actor and why and what things they influence that pushes their career that you're influencing and inspired by. Go ahead.
So what did I say last week? I mean, what did I just tell you today? I wanted to talk about, and I really wanted to do a Zoom about it. What you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yeah.
And that goes into what I was talking about. What you
Oh
doing?
yeah.
Other than just liking a post or doing, or getting everybody's information. What are you doing? So anyway,
Mm.
we're gonna talk about that. I want to have a Zoom session, so we're gonna plan something. Jaden said he watched Black Adam. He thought it was really good. Tone
Uh-huh.
watched from scratch. She said it had him crying the whole time. So that means I'm probably not gonna watch it till I'm ready to cry. She did watch Black Adam, Zatima, and The Oval. Is Zatima sci-fi? Sound like a sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Sound like a sci-fi.
Yeah. So, and then that's the thing. So I just want to make sure we giving everybody their shout out and kudos, by the way, for joining us. By the way, I want to say Audrey Cuff, shout out to you because every week you be reposting the Black Filmmakers Lounge and I mean resharing it so thank you very much. We gonna be giving people their roses now. So
Yes, Audrey
so
Cup. Brandon usually shares too.
yeah, thank you, Brandon.
And he
So
gives us a shout out. Yeah, he gives us a shout out on his show. So yes, we definitely appreciate you. Um, I watched I watched half of The Descendant that Linda was talking about last week.
mhm.
So I'm halfway through that. I need to watch the other half. And I watched okay, so I watched a couple of more episodes of the playlist.
Okay.
So the playlist, if anyone's seen the movie what is it, Vantage Point with
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker? Okay. And
Dennis
how they
Quaid,
did the
Forrest
story
Whitaker.
from different. So what
Mhm.
they did with the playlist is break this series down by each key player of Spotify. So they took these key people. Oh hey, Audrey, she's
What's
there.
up? Yep.
They took the key people like the creator, the partner, the industry, the lawyer, the coder. They made like six episodes, and each of these episodes is showing the different point of point of view from each person. And so some of the scenes they overlap, but they're showing how that person, it's kind of like if we meet in the middle, like today, for instance,
Mhm.
you and I are both on here and everybody else is listening in.
Right.
Basically, they took an episode of me, of my whole day of this process,
Okay.
then an episode of your whole day of this process, Tone's whole day of this process, all the way to, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Jaden's, Audrey. So it's really interesting how they shot this and and then you see the other side of what that person was doing. So it's very interesting how they structured the playlist. So I
Mm.
was like, this is interesting. So I really like it because it's showing, but it's all showing the different sides of how Spotify was created. But it's definitely showing the point of view, the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions, everything of every particular person that was involved.
Okay.
So it's really, really, it's pretty neat. It really is neat how they structured it, and I
I gotta
think
check it out. You know what's funny? When we got off, Netflix pushed the thing to my top, like what to watch. And I said, you know, your phone be listening to everything you guys.
The camera. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm gonna tell you this. And I told my sister. My sister said, "I've never heard of anything like that." I was eating avocado toast. I talked to two people.
Mm-hmm.
I got an article that was posted, and we're gonna move on. An article that on my feed that was posted saying best toast to use for avocado toast. I I I looked at the article. It had been written 6 days prior. It didn't just happen that day. So I called my mom and I called my friend. The two people I talked to, I said, "Did I tell you what I was eating for breakfast?" No. "Did I tell you what I was eating for breakfast?" No.
Right.
The camera
Ah.
picked it up and it did this. My sister was like, "I've never heard of any." I said, "I'm telling you it happened." And it did the same thing with popcorn.
Mm.
I ate popcorn. Next thing you know, I got a feed on my thing about and I had said nothing. The camera picked it up. So if that happened to you, just know this happening.
Yeah,
But
that's how it happens.
I'm just letting y'all know. But I have been in pre-production this week for a movie I'm filming, Jade's Heart. I am, and I say pre-production. Hold on a second. Let me turn my phone down. Pre-production. I have been in pre-production because I've been in talks with investors. I am talking to managers in LA. I've had 2 meetings with the investors Monday and Tuesday.
I know, because she left me on the phone to talk to an investor. I told her I didn't text her, say, "I'll call you. You talk to me."
I didn't think he was going to talk that long, but thanks, Michael. Just shout me out, you know. But so I've been in pre-production, and I'm claiming the funds because these people are heavy, like they not taking no prisoner heavy. That man said, "Listen, I know life is a marathon, but I'm not into marathons. I'm going to get this money, and we're doing it." And I was like, so I had to get LOIs and preparation and what you're doing. I'm gonna save that for the what you're doing because Michael has something else I want to talk about because that was where I was going today. But anyway,
I mean,
so
we could go there if you want and see what people are doing. Not everybody's hanging out today, so we
but I
can
want to
still
do
do
it
the
on
Zoom.
Zoom.
We can still do the Zoom, be more in detail,
Okay, it's up
because
to
we can
you.
outline the conversation for the Zoom.
It's up to you. That's up to you.
It's
Whatever
up
you
to
want to
you.
do.
We family.
But
You know how I feel.
because that's what was on me this morning, guys. And I talk about this before, and I've talked about this all the time. And when those investors got me on the phone, I was able to say, and I have a budget for
Mhm.
about 4 movies laid out, at least.
Right.
And they were like, and the people were like, how many, this is the second time. One guy asked me that I've never met, "How many originals do you have?" I said 15. He said, "I want an EP all 15." I was like, wow,
Mm.
okay. These guys were like, when I said I had 15 originals, the next conversation, they were like, "Because we have 15 originals to do." I was like, oh, like, like, you know what I mean? They telling me. But let me tell you something. And I talked about this about how on another interview I done about how we audition for things and how God has things set up for us, and we over here auditioning for this. And
Mhm.
literally, one of the women I stood in front of at Sundance 2019 trying to talk to her, and her assistant was like, "Can I help you?" Literally, this is one of the same ladies that they are presenting this stuff to, and I didn't go to her, I didn't find her, I didn't ask her.
Mm.
They already have a best friend connection with her. And they're like, "This is the number one place I'm taking it. Then I'm taking it to this, that." That guy said, I don't show up and give you one place I'm taking it and you never hear from me again. I have A, B, C, D, E, and F laid out. Like he was
Mhm.
just like, "I am this is what I do." And so, but I was able to say, I have the extended budget right here. I have the cast list right here.
Mhm.
I have a crew list right here. I have the potential shooting schedule right here. I have the producer. I have the pitch deck right here. These
Mhm.
people didn't have to say. Only thing they asked me for, and I'm going somewhere. Like the pastor, I'm going somewhere with this.
Nah, you
The
good.
only thing they asked me for is LOIs, and I told them, "Let me explain to you why I don't have LOIs." I said, when these people phone rings,
What is an LOI?
oh, I'm sorry. An LOI is a letter of intent from someone with influence that will be able to give value to your film. Whether it could be a director, a DP, or cast members. Usually people use it for like casting and actors and stuff.
Hmm.
But it could be a director, or distribution, anything. And this is what I told him. I said, I have everything set up. Basically, like I said, for the next few films, I can give you a rundown. But at least four. Look, I had to think about it.
Yeah.
Project Him, Hip Hop Love Story, The Garter, and
Jade.
Jade. So, and I told him, I said, this is why I don't have LOIs. My name is Tamira TK Henderson. When my name pops up on your phone, I'm basically ready to work.
Mm.
So when you see my name, you know I'm ready to work. So an actress, I literally found.
Hmm.
I'm not like Christopher Columbus. I didn't discover her, but I found at a play, and it blew my mind that she was the lead character of this film. I asked for her information from someone. I got it. She ended up reaching out to me the next week and asked me could she send her resume and all this stuff. And I'm like, you can say whatever you want to. I don't even think I ain't even looked at the resume. She's
Mm.
doing a lot of stuff, but I didn't even look at it because I saw her.
Okay, you
And
saw her
I knew
perform
right
and you
then,
liked her performance.
let me tell you, she is that character hands down. But I didn't say anything to her about this role or anything. She sent me her resume. Let me tell you, last week on Monday night, she got a call from me. Hey, I'm on the phone in heavy talks with investors. I would like you to read this script. I have a part for you. I would like to read this script, and I would like for you to, if you like the role, I will get you an LOI. And I'm going to pay you more than, I didn't tell her that, but she didn't even,
Hmm.
but I am going to pay her because she really makes the movie. Somebody else is the main character, but this character makes the movie. But I'm like, but that's it. All I had to do, and let me tell you this. Out of 5 LOIs within 24 hours, I had 3.
Ooh.
And the fourth one of the guys that it was the link to the investor,
Hmm.
it's an artist he manages. So then, with the confidence I had that this movie was being made, I actually got on the phone with an LA manager, never had done that. Think Bigger. That's the segment of
Hmm.
Think Bigger.
Right.
Never had done that before. Got on the phone with an LA manager, had a conversation. They asked for the offer letter and terms. Now, I'm trying to get this done now. So I reached out to a couple of producers, a couple of my producers. Hey, do you have an offer letter? Neither one of them seen it, the text message. But within 3 hours, I had that manager an offer letter, the script, and who's
Hmm.
involved. Everything he asked me for. So I prayed about the number. I did that. I did my research and got that stuff to them within 3 hours. Then turned around, thinking bigger, and sent it to an Oscar nominated actress.
Mm.
Because I kind of wasn't feeling the first actress in the first place. I really didn't think she was the role. And I kept thinking she wasn't. And so when they respectfully declined because of the content, I have to tell y'all, it's a rough movie. But I was so happy because really it wasn't her role. But the point is I'm making, I did not sit up and say, I'm gonna wait on funding before I start building
Prepping.
this movie.
Right.
I did not. Then I would have went behind the ball. If I would have sat there and waited, I would have already been behind the ball. So I wouldn't have been able to have the second meeting on the next day. And the LOI is already in my hand because I already knew everybody I was casting. So I had a production meeting. The producer was like, what about pre-production? I know you want to move kind of fast because you want to shoot in November. I said, let me show you pre-production. When I took her everything I had, she was like, well, damn, okay. Like, wow. And every character,
Hmm.
-4 out of 30, she was like, wow. Everything was done. I was not sitting there waiting. And so many times we feel, well, I'll wait till somebody call me. Well, I'll wait till I might get an investor. Well, I'll wait. And it's like, I got too much to do to wait. Like, I can get this together now, move to the next thing. So when somebody call about the last thing, it's already ready to go.
You got to get ready to stay ready and be ready. So
Get
when
ready to
time
stay
comes,
ready,
you're
and
ready.
don't just get. We got to think bigger, and I want to talk about that. We got to think bigger because we're sitting there. I literally had the budget pinned at something, and I thought the budget was high.
Hmm.
I really thought the budget was high. I was like, everybody was like, "That's a high budget." Man, we even talked about it. That's a high budget. Listen, these people said. He said before we have this meeting, this first meeting with the investors, I'm letting you know they want you to go 3 times as what your budget.
Because
Whew.
they know the idea of what will make it successful, um, and good return on investment. Because investors, sometimes we can be too low and not understand something. And the investor's like, well, it's too low for me to invest in because they want a bigger return on investment. Right.
And it's crazy because you still get a big, which is true, but you get a bigger return if I owe you less money, like, and all the
Mhm.
money's coming to profit. That's how I look at it. So that's what
Right.
and the guy told him she knows how much it takes to make a film, but um she is not into wasting money. She know what it takes. But if you wanted to up it, and I upped it, and I put more money in the P&A, and I made sure everybody was paid like they're supposed to be paid, like everybody will be happy with the numbers in this budget, and I made sure of that. But one other thing too is transparency. If you don't know something, like, don't be afraid. So when I was on the phone with the LA manager, I said to
Mhm.
him, they said the offer letter, and I said, let me be honest with you about something. I said, I know how to feed people, I know how to pay crew, I know how to pay cast. I said, I know how to pay, take care and pay locate. I know how to do all of this. I said, but what I do not know is um how to pay a celebrity.
Mm.
And
Right.
so my transparency, and he was like, and I'm going to be just as transparent with you. And we had a full transparent conversation about what to pay. And it was really, really, it was good. But in that moment, I was like, I'm going to be real with you. I wasn't trying to sugarcoat or shade him. I wasn't trying to do or act like, then I didn't try to act like I knew everything. But I went in with an honest conversation with this guy. And within 3 hours, they had everything because I had already had a number in my head, and the number was 4 times what they were expecting.
Mm.
So I was already like, but I was like, flat rate. I said, flat rate. This includes her pension and health.
Okay.
That's it. You pay your manager, you pay what you call it, because I'm offering you 4 times you can pay your own people. I don't
Right.
want to do the agency fees and all that
Well,
stuff.
that's what they do. Even with SAG, it comes out their check. They got to pay their agents and all that a percentage anyway.
Well,
Um.
sometimes, like my friend Tamika, she'll
Mhm.
like they'll get offers though that'll say we'll take care of your agency and management fee.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, a lot of people do that, but instead of me doing that, what I did was a flat rate. And then
Mhm.
after this, you'll still have this amount of money, which was really good after you pay your people, but I'm only paying your health and pension, your pension and health.
Right.
But what are we doing instead of just, what are we doing instead of waiting?
Mm.
We wait so well, I'll wait to see if this. I'll wait to either you believe in yourself. We want people to I'm not let me calm down because I'm going
You good, sis? You good?
to preach it. We want people to believe in us financially, to come on the crew, to produce, to act. You want people to believe in you, but yet you don't believe in yourself enough to even be prepared.
Mm.
Why wouldn't I
Amen.
believe in myself enough to be prepared?
I,
Look,
yeah. Yeah.
so
Actually, I'm gonna throw the question up there. Leonard asked this question. He said, "How important do you think a track record is in terms of securing investors?"
you know what? You want to answer that? You want me to go? Because I've been talking. You want to
Uh,
answer that? Then I'll jump in.
it doesn't matter. I mean, we just hanging out talking like we normally do.
A track record in terms. So you're talking about filmmakers that have filmmakers that can or cannot get investors. Is that how I'm
Yeah,
reading
I
the
think
question?
he's looking at how important is someone's track record to get investors, and I think, and there's multiple perspectives for that because if you're a first time filmmaker, you don't have a track record. So what you do have, if you've done it right, well, no, TKC, you do have a track record. You've been on
Oh,
set. You've written. Have you looked at your IMDb? Because I looked at it. It's bigger than mine.
I do. Some- sometimes I remember to Google myself because I got some stuff out there, and sometimes I
Yeah,
remember to Google
I'm just
myself.
saying. Have you seen but your track record is as a script writer, and but you have been on set. You have shadowed. You've had the experience. You've worked with different people. You've been the PA. You went from the person at the bottom to the person to the top at this point. So you know what it takes, and you've been around those people. Some people don't do that. Like, some people have never been a PA on set. I was willing to go on somebody's set. Well, I did, and work the clapboard. You know what I mean? Like, and write the stuff on there and keep the notes.
We
And
have
then
to.
and then they turn around and say, "Hey, yo, my cameraman ain't show up. I know you can work camera. Can I put you on the camera?" And I'm shooting on big giant red cameras and stuff for people's stuff. So like, you but I didn't go on there like, yo, I already made a feature film. You know,
That's
Ego
how I
go
am.
out the window.
People don't know I'm on set like this
Because
because I'm crewing up. I'm crewing up.
yeah, different style. The thing is, too, as a learner, personally, when you're around different people, you learn different styles, and they help
Absolutely.
develop you and give you perspective about things you never thought of. I remember Brian and I. Brian was the second DP for I Am.
Hmm.
He did some lighting stuff, and then I did lighting stuff. And he goes, "I see you incorporate some of my lighting style in that." And then he'll be like, "I like your stuff too," So we that you
Absolutely.
get around those people, and that's why iron sharpens iron. And
Come on.
so
Preach.
for investors, to me, if you have short films, have always used to and still always are calling cards, right? If you have quality work and it's in film festivals, it's getting seen, people are taking it in, then that's a calling card. So even to an investor, you were selected and like, oh, you've been in 15 film festivals. Oh wow, because to them, you must be doing something for festivals that take your work, right? That promotes you. That's your resume. If you've done shoot other stuff for other people. So, but like, I think it's important, but see, really important is a track record is, are you producing? Do you make stuff? Have you been on a set? Have you? Because think about this. Would I give you $1 million if you've never done anything and yet you're telling me it's worth $1 million? I mean, we all watched Shark Tank at some point, and there's people who overvalue themselves and can't do nothing. But if we look at take somebody like, this is why we ask your favorite directors, your actors, what is this something they did? You take somebody like Ava DuVernay, who hadn't made a film at the time but worked in the industry, and she took $50,000 not once but three times to make three different films, and we had a return on investment, which garnered her what she was doing. You had a Tyler Perry who did plays and turned the plays into videos and ended up using his own money to produce all his films. To his own track record, he produces this stuff, he puts it out, and it started with his plays, and he took that money and reinvested into himself, that he is where he is. This is where that makes sense now. um my mentor told me, hey, $100,000 film, you need to put in 10,000 of your own money, because you have something to lose, like your investors have something to lose. They trust you better when they got something to lose. So perspective is different, but that's why I say you got to come to the table with something. But a lot of people, to me, come to the table with empty dishes and plates, and they try to walk away with stuff. So,
And I'm glad you said that because that made me feel really, really a lot better. Because let me tell you why. Because I'm looking at my track record as a first time director on this
mhm,
movie. So I'm looking at my track record, and I even say though in the little bio thing in the pitch deck that after 22 years of I talked about being called to write 16 years, but then in the bottom it says after 22 years
mhm.
of working different areas of the industry, she's putting on God has called her to put on her director's hat. So I do add that, but in my brain, I'm thinking first time director, that's my track record.
Wait, but
I don't
didn't
have
you
a track
direct?
record.
Hold
So
up,
I'm glad
you directed a trailer though.
I did direct the trailer. So with you saying that, it really made me feel better. And I'm gonna give you some different perspectives of it, Leonard. Um, one. So when I told these people I had 15 originals,
Mhm.
I said that's not from my clients. I said, hey cousin,
What's
I
up?
said I said I have 15 originals, not client films, originals. I have literally written, if my count is correct, about 53 projects, and about 30 of them have been feature films. I, maybe more have been feature films, but definitely over half have been feature films. So when I told them I've written 15 original, not including my client stuff, they were blown away. They were like, oh my God, like you're for real, like you do this, like this is you know. And the guy that linked us had already talked me up so much. And like I said, everybody wanted a hip hop love story.
Can
They
you repeat that one more time? What you said? The guy that what?
linked me, had talked me up so much. These people came in with an expectation of me up here. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to ask, I didn't have to say, hi, my name is TK and I'm seeking this. When I got on that phone with that investor, the main investor link,
Mm-hmm.
that man had talked me up so much that he was presenting to me. I was just like,
Mm. Because you had a what with him?
because I had a relationship.
How long did it take you to cultivate that relationship? I'm just curious.
Ugh, I don't know.
Is it like a year or longer? Two?
Maybe 9 months to a year. I can't remember when I
But
first met him.
and how often did y'all talk on the phone? I'm putting something out there. You know me where I'm going with
Yeah,
this.
yeah. It might have been a year and a half. It might have been a year and a half or so. Um, yeah, actually, it's about a year. It's been about a little over a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we talked on the phone maybe once every 4 months or
So you
so.
kept in contact. You checked on each other. Text, maybe sent some text
Absolutely.
messages.
Hey, how you
You
doing?
was
I'm
checking
just
what they're.
checking in. And yeah, he would be like, TK, what's going on? What you got? What you got? And then I just happened to mention, like, oh, now I'm working on this because this is the first movie God wants me to shoot, Jade's Heart. I'm working, well, how much is it? And I told him, he's like, okay, TK, I got some people I'm gonna talk to, and this, and that, and I'm gonna talk to these people, and blah, blah, blah. I was like,
Mm,
okay.
let me ask you a question because we got now you and I we have some circles that are the same, right?
Mhm.
And we have our own different circles. When's the last time you talked to Derek?
Last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay, Derek texted me last week because we were talking. He said his words. So what's up, Derek? I don't know if you're watching because I know you had a wedding to go to. He said, "Hey, what you doing? You doing pre-production? You see what I'm saying? Like, what you doing pre-production on? And so for accountability,
That's
right?
good.
And so
He didn't say if you're working on something. He
he
said,
said,
what
"What?
are you
Right,
in pre-production
right."
on? Come on, Derek.
And so again, and then this is why I say the importance of cultivating relationships. Because I'm gonna let you get back to what you were saying. But this is the thing I'm seeing the problem with most filmmakers. It's like now I think they're getting sidetracked with being critical, right? Too opinionated and critical about other people's stuff. That they're not focused. Their energy is wasted on
Ouch.
what they think about somebody else's work or what their agenda is and all this stuff. Work
Woo.
on you.
If you can't
Get
say
your
amen,
grind.
say ouch.
And so this is why we're saying what you're doing. What are you doing? Because if you have wasted energy, because like you, I have maybe about 7 8 scripts because I got another one we're working on. So you see what I'm saying? And I've been chilling working on scripts. That's the main thing. Because remember what set me, and I got to say, I had a conversation with um, Julie's tenant, who is Viola Davis's husband. This was because we were all at the film festival for Capital City Black Film Festival, and Julian gave me his phone number, and he was like, "Hey, you guy, I need to know." And I'm like, "No, I am independent, not trying to be Hollywood guy. I am my thing. If I believe in ownership and all that stuff, I don't mind being small because to me, it's not being small minded. Being small, it's I know that in the industry, I have to make somebody else more money before I even
Mhm.
get money. And that's good. It works for different people for different ways. But I know for me, I can spend less to make more. I'd only need 100,000 people watching a film, which we can get if we think about it. But I'm very strategic in how I function. But when I had a conversation with him, he said, "How do you know how to picture movies? You know," he said, "Don't come in a room with one movie of one genre because they may not like that movie. You come in a room with at least 5 or 6 movies, different genres, different ideas." Because somebody in that room, everybody might not invest in that one film, but somebody in that room would say, "I like that other film. You willing to do it?" Which is why when they say you got 15 films and they like your writing and they like what you're doing, they're like, "Oh, we got 15 films," because one, they like you because they know you. And and here's the other thing. They like you because the person they know likes you too. Right? So because you've cultivated the relationship. And you're prepared because you have stuff ready to go already. So you're already coming prepared. You have a vault. So because my dad said something to me with the same thing, Julie said to me, you're ready. When you have multiple films, you're not relying on just one thing. Some people come in the room, "I got this one movie idea. One movie." And I'm like, okay, everybody got a movie idea. But I can tell
Idea,
you,
not a script, not a
right,
script,
an
not a
idea.
script, an idea.
And I have TK knows because I wrote like a list of log lines. I have a list of log lines. That's the first thing I do. Here's the movie idea. Da 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 da. I have a bunch of those. Then I got scripts. So I could go to my log line list of like, all right, let's turn that into a script. Or what's the value of that film's gonna be right there? Okay, that's gonna be overpriced right now. I want to do a $20,000 to $50,000 film. Mm-hmm. So which film goes in that category better? Right? Oh, I have too many locations with this film. That's gonna hit my budget and time. I can't do that. Maybe I need to do a film with only one location. Let's think about this for a second. Before you say a film with one location won't work, I'll give you some movies. The Breakfast Club, 12 Angry Men. You get what I'm saying? Like, these are movies that took place. Oh, Aliens took place on one spaceship the whole time. One location. They had to build the set, but it was on location. They didn't have this, what was the Big Chill took place in a house. So when I say we have to think, and these are all films that have been in movie theaters and made money. But you didn't think about for a second. The Breakfast Club only took place in this high school this whole time. We didn't go see them at home in their own environment. We got to know the characters because of who they were and how they responded to situations of having detention on a Saturday. And then the friendship they forged. Right?
Wow.
So that's where I think. That's how, when you're thinking big, okay, if I took maybe $100,000 and just shot in one location, maybe I only got to shoot for 5 days and boom, I'm done. But it's a good story because we developed these characters that can be iconic. That's what we got to think about. But back to the investors, back to cultivating relationships. Go. I'm sorry.
And the other thing, Leonard, is who's investing and the timing. So sometimes we can get investments at the wrong time because we want investments, but we have to understand there's sometimes timing plays a part. So you might talk to somebody who's never had an investor before, like me, and it wasn't time, but now it is. Now it's time. You know what I mean? Now it's time because I've been in a big writing season. So now it's time. And then the other thing is who the investors are. When you run into people that say they're going to do this, but you don't know what their agenda or motive behind it is to exploit you or anything like that. So you could have been saved and protected. So it seems like, oh, I haven't got investors, but no, it's about protection because those were not good investors. They didn't mean you any good, so it didn't matter. So even though it seemed good, everything, because we think money, as long as they come in with money, is good, which we all grown enough to know and mature enough to know and wise enough to know that's not the case. Mm-hmm. So the timing and the people and the amount. I mean, it could be an amount issue, like, oh, they wanted me to give me $10,000 for a movie that I knew, was going to take way more than that to shoot. Like $10,000, like we eating ramen noodles. Like I got to feed people. So, but I mean, it depends. So it really
Right.
depends. It depends, Leonard. So it's a lot of different perspectives when you look at why somebody doesn't have a track record. But literally, when I got on the phone with that investor partner on Monday, when I talked to him, he didn't ask me my track record. Like he heard me talking. And he was like, this girl knows what she's in. By the end of the conversation, he was so happy. He was like, I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so happy to talk to you. This, and that. We know what we talking about and blah, blah, blah. He was doing exactly. He was doing, I didn't get to say it was great to meet you. He literally was like over the top about meeting me. And then he had talked so much, hold on, cultivating relationships. He had
Mm.
talked, he was so happy with me after the person had talked me up, and then we got on the phone with him, that we were supposed to have a meeting on Wednesday. He got on the phone with his person, and they were like, dang, if you feel like this about these people, we need to meet tonight.
Mm.
So when we got on the phone, he was like, this is TK. I know I just met her yesterday, but she part of our family, and blah, blah, blah. And she got 15 originals we need to kick out, and blah, blah, blah. Like, he started talking me up, and he had just met me the day before. I'm like, listen, that man barely asked me. What he asked me was who was in the movie, and so he'll know the actors to pitch to the people that he was pitching to, starting the very next day.
Mm.
He didn't ask me, okay, how much are you paying this person? How many years have you been on set? How many feature films have you worked on? How many? Literally, he didn't ask me, have you ever had investors before? He didn't ask me any of that. Nothing. The guy said she knows what we're our expectations. She knows our percentage and our credit and this and that. Did you have any questions for her? He was like, nope. And then he said, only questions I have, who are the recognizable names that I can pitch for this film? That's it.
Mm. There you
He
go.
didn't ask me. Yeah, he didn't ask me nothing else because the other guy, his investor partner that he works with on a daily basis, had already talked me up so much. The guy, again, I had just met the day before, that his partner trusted him enough with what he talked to me about that he didn't even ask me anything but the names in the film.
And she's standing the ground on what she wants to do, the way she wants to do it. I mean, and they respect that, and that's key, y'all. If you're not, look, I want to support everybody in bigging you up and doing your thing. This is my sister right here, and I've known TK. Wow, for 2008.
Hey, Thomas.
And what's up, Thomas? And when I look at this, think about this. I've known you since 2008. We actually didn't start working on our first
Wow.
project together until 2012, 2013.
Was that 2012, 2013?
Yeah. Well, we talked, and then we were at the festival together, and we talked more. We were like, hey, and we, here's the crazy part. We didn't physically see each other until the festival. We had been on the phone, we've been on Facebook. And I've always been trying to get my sister to be like, hey, after we initially talked, I said, you need to be doing script classes. You need to be doing trainings. Have I not said that?
He is telling the truth. But you know what? And it goes to what we were talking about, think bigger. And I'll let you get right back, put a pin right there.
Yeah,
About think bigger, because I kept thinking, I don't have enough to stand on. Even though I know what I'm doing, I really felt strongly. I was still learning, still taking classes, still doing stuff, but I felt so strong that I knew what I was doing. But other people like Michael was like, so you need to teach classes. I'm gonna do a workshop. We're gonna do it virtual. I'm gonna fly you up here. Remember,
we've been trying to plan it all
I
out.
was like, but I don't have enough yet. I don't have a movie people can recognize me from without me saying, hey, and yeah, so keep going.
But that's the thing. And yet here you are, because I mean, there's deals happening that people aren't aware of with you. And there's blessings that God has done already with you for your writing, for your work. So it's happening, and the real people around you will do nothing but big you up, cheer you
Mhm.
on, correct you when you're out of place, and pray
Come
for
on.
you to continue to be in success.
Say it again.
They'll big you. They'll basically build you up, celebrate you, correct you when you're out of place, and pray for you, so you can continue to reach highlights of success. Your people, your circle should want to see increase. That you
Come on.
cannot have people around you that pretend to go, yay, congratulations, and then they don't. When it's like, hey, let me add. I want to add to the people around me's life, because I believe that those around me, if I'm going to be successful, then the people around me are going to be successful. If I can add to their success, then I'm going to add to their success. And that's the importance of your circle. When I asked TK to come on the Black Filmmakers Lounge, I said, sis, I don't have no money like that because you already know me. I'll be doing my grind, but when I pay you, I pay you. And, but I want to give back to the community, because what I find is a lot of
Definitely.
filmmakers aren't educated in the film industry. They don't know what to do. They don't know what things are, and they need to know what they are so that they can be successful at it, or know what they're missing, even if they're independent. Because my thing is about independence. It's about ownership. It's about having, IPO. It's about having all your stuff, your intellectual property. Um, but yet you do, if you want to get investors. I've never had yet the blessings of investors I've had, where I went in my own pocket, refinanced my own home, took my own money from working extra hours, and then I thought differently. I like, well, I need to sell stuff or make stuff or do stuff to make money, but to take my money. And then I got married. My wife said we gonna invest in each other. So that's
Come on,
that
somebody.
thing. And then, the first time I had anybody invest money into a project was when I did my grad school project, because it was a requirement. I
Mm.
actually hate asking people for money. Like me, I'm like, if I mess up, I like to mess up my own money. And I
Now I'm
learned
fluent.
from
I'm
that.
fluent now. I'm fluent.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'll make it back. Because one, when we did the web series, what we created merchandise. We have journals. We sold
Mhm.
those, t-shirts.
I never
Uh,
got a
you
shirt.
didn't get your t-shirt? Ooh, I look. It might be in one of the boxes. I'll check. Uh, so we were doing what we were doing. We had planned it all out. Um, and TK and I, we were like, hey, we got the series, we got the in between series with just the therapist, we got the next, like,
We
we
had the
are
stuff laid out.
planners. Yeah,
We
all the way
we
out.
had the stuff laid out.
And so that's the people in your circle. Like, if I'm wrong or I haven't, like, TK and my wife would overrule me. Uh, Tiffany and TK, like, well, we think you should do this instead. We've
Let me
already
call
come agreement.
Tiffany. I'm gonna ask her.
But that's your circle. That's why those relationships are very, very important. And I gotta drive this to people, because too many people are too much trying to promote something without relationships. You can throw a commercial out there, but if the people that can get away with throwing out a commercial is Disney, Paramount, Sony. The reason is they've already built their relationships with their clientele and their investors and the people in it, because they're a bigger industry. But you, as an individual, you haven't built anything. You haven't yet cultivated anything. And if you're not cultivating it, oh my goodness. Yeah, I made this film. And the only people that really know who I am are the people who helped me work on it in my neighborhood, or the few people I connected with. But I'm not talking to anyone else. I just want you to go support me. And that's crazy, because why are we on social? Let me say these words: social
Mm.
media. You got to socialize to get your media connected. So how are influencers influent if they're not reaching an audience and connecting? If they never
Right.
stop. That's why people get on Instagram and say hi to everybody. And here's what we did. Crazy thing. We built the page for I Am. We had never advertised any of the episodes before we started releasing them. Never told people we were coming out with I Am. In 2 days, we had 20,000 views.
Woo! Come on.
And I had TK. We were filming the third episode. While we were filming it, had released the first episode. And people were like, boom, 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 and talking. And what I told the filmmakers is, I'm not the film. What I told everybody is, hop online, say nothing about what we're shooting, only say hi to people and greet them as your character and as yourself, and then let them know who you are and say hi. And then I said, let's get on a couple times every now and then, say hi to people and let them know, and watch it with them and get in the comments. I don't know what's going to happen. What you think Roland's going to do? What you think this is going to do? What you think? And then boom, people gravitated to it. And people were asking questions. They were like, what's going to happen? I mean, to this day, we haven't done the series since 2016. To this day, people say, when's season 2 coming out? I had somebody, we can see the people watching it. There was somebody just watching the episodes, all 7 of them. And
wow. That's awesome.
So I say that because when I thought about, you got to build relationships. But here's what I didn't do what I am really. I didn't go on a bunch of Black filmmaker groups and post it. I really just didn't. I did it a couple of times, but I didn't see the value in it. I saw the value in reaching the audience who would like the topics. So you go to therapy groups because there's the show's about therapy. So I am. And it was cultivated out of people realizing who they are and going through a therapy. The reason it has I am is because if you watch every episode, the name of the show is called I Am, but if you say I am and then read the title of each episode, it tells you what's going on with a character or the characters in that show for that episode. Plan it out, structure. That's what we talked about. So the audience was like, oh yeah, I love it because I am, and they started talking about themselves. Yeah, I am this person, or you gotta, why are you doing it? And here's what we got to talk, think bigger. We're going to go over to that with this thought. Because again, we were talking about the merchandise. Yes. We were talking about the shirts. And I'm going to give you a quick example of thinking bigger. There is a Black-owned toy company with about 10 to 11 employees called Fresh Dolls. And Fresh Dolls got a contract with Marvel to do the Black Panther toys. Dolls.
How many employees?
10 or 11. I think it's 10 or 11 is a Black
10 or 11
company.
Employees, and they got which contract? We're going to just repeat
Marvel
this
contract for Black Panther 2. The owner and the creator of Black Dolls was a professor, and she went into entrepreneuring. And Dr. Why is her name skipping she's a mom. They're everywhere. I can tell you in 2 seconds. Dr. Lisa. Like I remember Dr. Lisa's last name. But this stuff is tight. It's in, you can get this in Target. They just got a deal with Amazon. But they have other dolls. They've been doing dolls for a minute, but I'm a Black Panther fan. So anything Black Panther, I got. Anything with Black Panther in it, I got some pens, whatever. Because I've been a Black Panther fan before the movie, way before the movie. I got Black Panther with Uno cards. I'm like, yo. So I got a Black Panther Connect 4.
Black Panther with Uno cards.
That was on Amazon. I saw the cards and it had a whole deck that was just Black Panther. I was like, oh, I gotta have that just to have the deck. And then I got it at a discount, $11. I was like, oh, it's on sale. And so I bought 2 decks, one to open and play with, and the other one to keep closed up. Just like I got the Black Panther Monopoly. Come on, man. My whole row up top is all Black Panther.
I know. We got to turn this camera around. So keep going.
But I always think about if I made a sci-fi movie, if I made an action film, how I would merchandise. And yet there's all these Black companies that are making toys, that are doing products on Etsy and all these things. And so you have to look at making these connections, because your connections can't be limited to just filmmaking or filmmakers. because you don't know what will come of it. Like she can easily take Jade and make it a novel and release the movie and a novel. And or even do a workbook. Vision. How do you how to change in your life? And Mrs. Melvin's working on her grind, doing her thing. uh
Right. I want to have her on. I want to have her on too. Remember?
yeah.
But the fact and what I wanted to drive, like the point he's driving in, I want to add to it. The fact that these people did not let them come on, and speaking to
Mm.
myself, did not let the fact that they had 10 or 11 employees.
Meaning they're not a big company.
They're not a big company, but they did not say Black Panther, oh my God, we're too small to ask for that.
Mm.
That should go to a Mattel. That should go to this toy maker or this toy maker, somebody who's established. We're
Well, they already
new.
got Hasbro, they got Lego, they got Hasbro, but you're talking about dolls, which would be Mattel for Barbie and stuff. And no, yeah,
But
that's
you
the
see what I'm
thing.
saying? They didn't think because you know what I mean? Like I said, preaching to myself. They didn't say I only have 10 or 11 employees. I wouldn't have the capacity or the thought to even think I could land this deal. So why would I even go after it? And these people had the confidence to go after a deal this
A licensing.
huge and land it.
Mm.
Hold on, I need another. And
This is
land it.
and so to talk about investors, some investors want to know, well, what else you doing with this? Because if they know that you're doing unlimited moves, if you take like a George Lucas, I know Fox was kicking their butt when they just signed in, like, oh, we'll just distribute Star Wars. But, and then he was like, no, I'll keep the licensing then. I'm good. And then all the toys and all the stuff made him billions. Like, y'all, you gotta stop for a second
Baby.
to think about, like, that's why I say I believe in ownership. I believe in having rights to what you create because you don't know its potential until you
You don't
start
know.
thinking what the
Yes.
potential is. Like list your ideas, list stuff. Don't just settle. We don't just stop at a movie. Cause right now you can get toys for Jaws. You can get toys for Friday the 13th, Halloween, Freddy Krueger. Those are horror films. You can get toys for Flash. You can get toys. Now they got NBA toys coming out through Hasbro. Then they're gonna have NFL. Y'all, y'all have to think differently because you think about this. There's a and it just slipped my mind the name of it, but there was a thing that did children's songs that taught stuff on YouTube and Instagram, and everybody be like the beat is nice, and they keep making
Oh yeah, yeah.
TikToks,
They talk
and they
about when you
just
walk in and your child is listening to such and such.
yeah, and they were like dancing to it and they promoting it, and it was a father and a daughter, black owned business. The dad was a music producer and everything, and I think the
Oh
mom's an
wow.
artist and stuff. And the daughter come in with ideas. They take her in the studio to make it happen, and they created it, and it had so many views that they end up with an agent. But if you go onto Etsy right now, you can see which that's why you have an agent and things happen. You have these unlicensed things with the design for the character out there that you can go start collecting off these people on because they making money off of Etsy with their cartoon image and stuff. Because that's copyright and trademark infringement,
That's right.
right?
Ludacris, the thing Ludacris did for his daughter. Now they
Yeah.
have Karma's World dolls and
Oh
everything
yeah,
like
and Lele, right?
that.
And
Hmm.
we're talking about kids. Here's the thing: we're talking about kids right now. We're talking about taking your kids and building your business. So if you have a kid and you're a filmmaker, why aren't you utilizing your kids and producing films with your children or
Hmm.
teaching them how to make films with their friends and all this? You can build so many things, but the moment you're limited and you're thinking, you don't start outlining your process or what you want to do and where you want to go. And what's your 5-year plan? If you do this, what in 5 years, what is it going to look like? What's your plan? What's your next step? What are you changing, adding into your repertoire for next year? Right? If you notice, the Black Filmmakers Lounge, we started off very humble. We didn't have all this stuff we got right now. Then the second year we changed some stuff. Now we're in our third year. What do? We changed it. We added the new opener. We're making constant shifts to improve it, and we taught some classes. People like, oh, y'all should be doing master classes. We did the whole script thing. Now we're going to be talking about because we did want to talk about pitch decks and lookbooks, creating those for your films. And then we even were discussing, should we talk about budgeting? Should we talk about what the top sheet is and what it looks like and what you should have? I mean, we are constantly having these different conversations what we should talk about. But now we're going to start working, which means like we're going to be doing other stuff. So it gets harder because I had to tell TK, I said, yo, we need to find some other young people so we can be producing behind the scenes because we're going to be working. So we're going to be busy doing films, and the show can't go away. It has to have a legacy because I'm always about legacy. That is my slogan, personal slogan is build your dreams, leave your legacy. That has always been my personal slogan that I made up for me because I was like, build your dreams, leave your legacy. When you go after your dreams, the producing your dreams should be your legacy is left behind. When you're gone, what's left? What have you imparted in others? What have you added to their life? My dad taught me, you should never walk into a room and it stays the same when you walk out of it.
Woo! That's good.
So when you walk into a room, you should add something to it that challenges people to add more. And so when you leave, it's like working for a job. You go work a job, you should add to that job. So when you leave, you've left a legacy behind that someone has to improve on. So they got a choice. They can improve on your legacy and add to it, or they can demolish it because they don't want to do the real work. They just there. And they'll know the footprint you left behind. Because like, oh, when Michael Melvin was here, we had this. Can you do this, man? I've had people call me from previous jobs like, so how did you do this? Can you tell me? And that's kept calling me. And I was like, dude, I'm working at another company. What's up, man? I'm working right now.
I'm literally working right now.
Yeah, you calling me, asking me questions. When I left the whole notebook and gave you a thumb drive with everything on it. Hey, what's up? So I've done the research. I'm a forever learner. And this is why the more you're constantly learning all the time, you should be, because this industry is a forever changer. Think about it. The same film cameras back in the day cost hundreds of $1,000s. It used to cost a lot of money to develop film, to transfer it to digital later, to cut it, slice it, edit, all this. You had to learn those skills. Then it got easier and simpler, and this stuff got cheaper. So the issue isn't the films, the ability to make them. It's the issue is you actually just doing it and making quality films. Or there's no perfect film. I'll tell you this. I don't know any perfect movies because people make mistakes. They oversee stuff. But what I learned as a filmmaker in film school was suspended disbelief. We might joke about, Fast and the Furious, but they've garnered lots of money. And I'm still always fascinated how one car could swing across when the bridge disappeared with one rope. I'm just like, or a car in outer space. Suspended disbelief. We suspend it because we want to enjoy it. We're not there always to pick a film apart. We're fine with fantasy. We know it's not real, but it's enjoyable. We're laughing. We're cheering the hero on.
We should go into films. That's exactly how I go into films. Every film I watch, I go in to enjoy it. And that's like, then if I hear something off, it kind of throws me. But I go in to expect with my expectation up here of this film. Yeah. Like I'm about to enjoy a good film. When I click play, I'm gonna watch a good film. I'm not expecting that. Oh Lord, let me see what's wrong with this one. But I'm clicking play to enjoy it.
What's their agenda? Their agenda is to do this. They want to tear us apart. Every film ain't doing, and then people get wrapped up into political stuff too much. Yes, there's politics in filmmaking. Yes, there are agendas. I will never say they're not. But hey, here's my question to every filmmaker: what's your agenda? Yeah, you're right. You are 100% right when you say someone has an agenda. I'm sure Spike Lee has an agenda when he makes a film. I'm sure Tyler Perry has an agenda. I'm sure Robert Towson has an agenda. I'm sure that Michael Schultz had an agenda when he did Cooley High and worked on the TV shows he's working on. I'm sure, Gordon Parks had an agenda. Everybody got an agenda, good and bad. But what's yours? It's
What's yours?
easy to point out somebody else. What's your intentions? Is it just the money? You making films so you can get paid big? If that's the wrong theory, walking in and doing your first film. I know plenty of people who made their first movie and made no money or very little. Or maybe some people broke a little bit even, right? Or another investment paid off the debt their film got them into. It's a very it's subjective what you like or don't like. It's all subjective. It's and we get caught up. Well, film is art. Yes and no.
Baby, yes and no, because
there's so many cookie cutter. I mean,
it
go
is
watch
art and
westerns.
it is subjective. But baby, sometimes you see something, you be like, okay, now this is art. This is not subjective. This is just horrible.
But you've seen it. Like
I
there's
know.
some playing style. I'd be like, I've seen this before, and I'm not tripping because I know where it's going. You know what? I did watch something. I forgot what it was because I seen it before. In my mind, I'm like, I've seen this all before. I already know where it's going. I can already figure out this character. Oh, she's gonna betray him and shoot him. Or this is gonna. I mean, I already know. But sometimes that's what you're into because I also grew up watching mysteries, and like my parents would watch Murder She Wrote, and Matlock said, "Who you think did it?" So they had those conversations. So I'm just that type of person. Like, who do you think did this? Or what do you think is going to happen? People talk about that. I got to a point sometimes you got to just sit and watch a movie in silence or with nobody there by yourself because it's hard. My wife would be like, we start a movie together. She forget that I haven't seen it like she hasn't seen it. And she's like, so is they going to do this? Or what did he do? Or is he going to like, honey, I'm watching this just like you. What you talking about?
See, you so used to figuring it out. Like I already know what's gonna happen. She already like so she trying to figure out if you know what's gonna happen. So you can tell her what's gonna happen.
But I
Why she
like that.
watch
I
the
like
movie?
films that when I leave, I can have a discussion about, right? I can have a debate. Um, I can ask questions, or it leaves me wondering things. Those are my types of films. Those are the types of films I like to make. I wouldn't give you a solid answer all the time, you know. Um, but that depends on the type of filmmaker. Some people like to wrap it up. But see, the problem sometimes the problem with wrapping every film up is some people wrap up everything too quickly, and it starts to not to make sense to me. Like, wait, what? They just we got to end this movie. We only got 90 minutes. We need to do, and it's like that. You don't fix that quick. What bothered me, and this is me. What bothered me about Christian films? Every answer to solving everybody's problem was a quick prayer. They got right with God just for praying real quick. And I'm like, no, it's a process.
Baby.
And when I did Broken, I wanted to show that getting right with your relationship with God was a process. It wasn't a quick prayer was not the answer. It was you changing.
Woo, come on.
And so that's why I put it in a movie that way. And that's why the movie was extended a little bit because I believe in showing the process. But this is where I'm bringing a film that has realism into the character because there's a purpose. My agenda in this film was to show that everybody doesn't get saved sitting in a church. Everybody's life with God doesn't change because they went to a church.
Come on.
I know more people who came to God and didn't come to God at church. They came to God because the people around them or the people they were connecting with showed them and told them what they went through. And they realized, wow, you had some hard times. My times are bad for me, but my goodness, I ain't have to walk in your shoes because I don't think I'd survive that. But if God did it for you, he could do it for me. And that's what got me. I was about healing through film. I was about helping others. And so That's when you have to understand why you're making films. I make stories because I want people to reflect, because I did spoken word and poetry. I'm very visual. When I wrote
Yeah.
music, I was visual storytelling. And so my purpose was to change lives and let people reflect on it through characters rather than always looking in their own mirror at themselves and say, wow, that character I went through that same thing. That was their solution. Not saying it's a quick fix for everybody, because it's not. Your journey is
Right.
your journey. But that's why storytelling is so powerful. Plus, when I learned about our storytelling, was also a way we shared our history and passed it on.
Yes. That and that. Amen. Yep.
So my sister over here, she trying to tell y'all, what you doing? Where you working at? What you got
Baby, what you
planned?
doing? Where you work? And that really, and literally, while I'm in pre-production for this film, this is the first day I said pre-production. So I'm like, thank you, Lord. So this is
Mm-hmm.
the first time I said pre-production, actually said the word. But the other night I was thinking, wait a minute, I need to finish that graphic. I need to get that
Mm.
graphic finished for Garter because I have the stuff for the pitch packet, but I'm still waiting on that one graphic. And so my mind was like click, 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 like we need to, and I may not even need the pitch packet because the way these people are on me, I may not even need that because once they see what I do with this film, and go into production and how I budget. How I talked to the CPA. Listen, I talked
Mm.
to the CPA the other day, guys. I said, "How much are you gonna charge me? I need you to do this and I need you to do that." He said, "Well, let's sit down and talk about the line items." I said, "As soon as I have another meeting with the investors, I will let you know." But the fact I already initiated the conversation with the CPA to let him know you on call.
There you go. Did you find your line producer?
So the line producer, I have it kind of sorted out
Okay.
how I'm going to handle it. But they're literally one. I'm gonna tell you, I have two positions on the crew that are not filled in my head.
Okay.
Two, but I haven't had the conversations with some of the other people. Like, hey, you got this person, you got this person. But the way I have structured the task,
Mm-hmm.
this producer's handling this producer's handling this. I will take care of one, two. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Because I
Mm-hmm.
produced this whole movie sitting at home, guys. I literally have produced this whole movie sitting on this couch.
Mm. Mm.
So anyway, but what you're watching, what you're doing, and think bigger. That was the main takeaways from today. And don't limit yourself when it's a think bigger. And I have to add that don't limit yourself because the limitations in my head, because of my track record, of not ever directing a film was totally different from that was a different perspective of what. So that's why I said, you look, y'all got me hyped and excited. I'm already working, but it just gave me some.
but
Y'all gave me some fuel today for real.
but that's
Like,
why your circle is important, because if your circle is building you, they're gonna say, "Hey, have you thought of this?"
yes,
And they're not always. And here's the thing: your real friends aren't always looking to get stuff out of you because they give you stuff. They want to see you succeed. Because here's the thing: I like running with a circle of successful people,
come on,
and they're successful in their own thing, right? But if we have the power, and this is where we come in because we were given the power. We have the power to invest in each other and build each other. To get yeah, she's
Jaden know
getting
he gonna
everybody
tell me.
fired up.
Jaden know I'm
Look,
calling
Jaden.
you.
Yeah, she's getting everybody fired up. Uh, then you know we can move forward. We can do things that we never thought about doing because our circle will encourage us to be like, hey, did you think about doing this? They'll bring things to your attention you haven't thought of because they're always constantly building. That's the thing. You want forever learners in your circle. That's and learning is not just education, it's life, it's business, it's investment, it's how to be a better man, how to be a better woman, a husband, a wife. Those if those are your circles, like I tell people, you want to be married, be around married people. Why would you not be around non-married people if you trying to get married? Because married people can educate you on marriage. They're about building their marriage. So you surround yourself with that. and you surround yourself with people who will encourage you to have the best marriage you can have. It's not going to be perfect, but it's the best one for you. And then who you married should be encouraging you to be better. And so that's the thing with filmmakers. You should be around filmmakers who encourage you to be a better filmmaker and do well.
Awesome, Thomas. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yes.
He's shooting a short today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, congratulations. I want to check out the short, man. So you gotta. I just challenge you, your circle, because we've talked about this before, but it's so big to understand why it's important to have the right people around you, and especially in what we do, because the right people will push you.
Yes.
If they're not pushing and elevating you up, if they're not building you, don't just big me up. Don't just congratulate me. Say, Michael, I saw your post the other day. You got to watch that. It might seem this way. Just be aware, right? You don't want to mess up your audience. Or, hey, I need to correct something you just put out there. That's the thing, right? Because I believe in a win-win. That's why I have relationships with people. Everybody around me should be winning. No, we weren't created to lose in life.
Come on.
We were created to win.
Come on.
And if you read, and this, we're all different in our spirituality and our growth and our walk and what we believe and what we follow, and that's okay. But what I'm saying is, the word I read tells me that this is a marathon. It's a long run. There's a long run to it. And guess what? If you ever been to a marathon, there's people on the side that keep egging that runner on to make it to that finish line.
Absolutely.
And that's what your circle should be doing, egging each other on for their marathon and their journey.
Absolutely.
Like, yo, you going to make it to that finish line. You got this project you're doing, you going to make it to the finish line. What you need to make it to let me write you a check, my brother, so you can make it to the finish line. Let me talk to this person over here so you can make it to the finish line. Hey, how can I come? And I'm not saying it's not a one-sided thing. It's a cultivated relationship.
Absolutely.
So you egg them on to make it to their finish line. Two of my friends bought a house within this year. I went and looked at it. I was like, yo, this house is nice. Your house is and I celebrate them because that's beautiful to see them get what they want in life.
Absolutely.
You encourage the people. So I'm going to big up my friends real quick. First, I'm going to big up my sister TK. I'm going to say, hey, early happy birthday to her because her birthday's next week. And
my party is next week. My actual birthday is November 18th.
I'm sorry.
But I'm celebrating all month. I'm
She's celebrating for November. I forgot about that. Yeah. She's celebrating her birthday next week.
All month.
So we'll probably be on the show for her birthday anyway, like we were last year. But I'm going to big up my sister because she is doing big things. She's making moves for her, and I've always been proud of her. Whenever I hear something she's doing good, I let the world know and I let her know, and I will pray for her. If she say I'm going to, I will stop what we talking about and we'll pray because that's what we are family, okay? Amen. And that's how God designed it. And we got to get together because unfortunately I was hoping to be at her birthday celebration, but I'll be sitting on somebody's table. Lord, laying on the table, but it'll be all right. We'll see each other after that.
Amen.
But so bottom line, and I want to big up Leonard. I want to big up my boy Jamal and Lewis and Stanley and Eric. I have some boys that we are in DeMar. We have private message groups on Facebook and text message. We will send articles, things, and we will talk or debate and talk about money and talk about investing, talk about building and support each other's stuff. Leonard came on this morning on the podcast live stream, and he'd be like, man, I ain't even on Facebook. Go to YouTube. And he still hopped on. And so that's what your friends do. Like, they encourage you. A friend doesn't ask for a free movie ticket. They buy the ticket because they know the importance of the numbers, right? And especially if they're willing to spend $15-20 to buy a ticket to another movie, that you didn't make, that somebody they're not connected to or know, why wouldn't they invest in you? You know,
That part. That part. Amen.
so that's my gym, by the way. Know your circle. They should build you up, and celebrate you, correct you, and pray for you.
There you go.
That's my 60-second gym, TK.
I did mine already
Oh.
when I said what about what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
and think bigger, take off the limits, and what was the other one? It was a few of them. I had to rewind it to get the other one, but
Cultivate the relationship, think bigger, take off the limits, be ready, have all your
be
stuff
ready.
ready. Yeah.
Be ready. Always be in pre-production. That's gonna be our new thing. Always be
Always
in
be in
pre-production.
That should be the
I
theme
love
for
it.
2023. Always be in
2023.
pre-production.
Always that I love it.
Yeah,
Always be in pre-production.
and see,
Let's
we
go.
be sitting there like, what's our message for this year? And because this year's message was be strategic, intentional, and authentic. Remember, we're gonna do that. And then so 2023.
So instead of what you working on, it's gonna be what are you in pre-production on? That's the new. Come on, thank you, Derek.
I'm about to say thank you, Derek.
That's gonna be the new question every time I talk to somebody. What you in pre-production on?
There you go. See,
Love it.
So, we just want you guys to know we definitely appreciate you.
Woo. Hey, Ludwig. Cool. All right.
Ludwig, all right.
Watch if you get a chance.
Yeah, thank you.
All
right, we're about to head off anyway, so you gotta go rewind it or hop onto the YouTube channel and watch it. By the way, join the Black Filmmakers Lounge group community. If you join the community, please read the rules because we're not going to be posting everybody's promotional stuff. And if your stuff has profanity and stuff, because we have parents who are supporting their kids and wanting to learn filmmaking that use our site. So we're not like going into that negative space, or we're trying to keep it somewhat family friendly because it's about legacy. And so we can't do something for the kids. And I hate to tell filmmakers, sometimes you got to not just think about yourself, but think about your youth. Because if you don't have anything for them or a way for them to see your stuff, are you in it just for the money, or are you going to build a legacy later? I know kids cuss and they be doing all this stuff, but there can be some small kids watching this live stream or coming on the space and checking out the information provided. So we do limit that type of stuff. But we also limit promotions to Tuesday because we feel like promotional should be Tuesday. Everything else should be discussion and building relationships. We're trying to create the space for you to cultivate those relationships. And we encourage you to do that, and also to be educated about it. So once again, I did do 2 different posts on this Friday, last week and this week. One was, who's your favorite director and actor? Tell us about it. Mm-hmm. Why are they? Follow them. Learn about them. Check out what they do that's good as well, that encourages you, right? And then write 7 to 10 log lines for different projects and see what you come up with, because that may push you into that pre-production. And we'll use that for for January, right? The pre-production.
I love it. I love it. Love it.
So we like to thank you guys for joining us here at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. The Black Filmmakers Lounge, what are we about? What a Black Filmmakers Lounge is where independent filmmakers, whether novelists or professionals, come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community. So we are creating our own space so that we can succeed together. So if you're following us, thank you. Like, subscribe, share, post it. Go to the YouTube page, subscribe to it, hit the notification bell. We'll be having more other videos on there that aren't on the Facebook, by the way, because we're making some adjustments. Like we said, we always got a plan. And we are going to start, because TK set up the Zoom so we can inspire the inspirational Zoom, because she already said it. We're going to do that Zoom get it together so you can be invited into the Zoom. So,
subscribe, share.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, share. Hey, like, subscribe, share.
Lewis,
Like,
Jamal, hope y'all be on soon. Everybody like, subscribe, share. We love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Go make a short film. Go produce some. Play with your camera. Learn some stuff. Play with some lighting. And yo, I got one last thing. Even though this is free advertisement for this Fresh Dolls, but yo, these are hard. You got it. I mean, I won't even open these. I might have to buy a second one to put on the shelf. But yo,
that's what's up. I'm gonna buy some for Christmas for my child.
oh, there you go.
Buy
All
gifts,
right.
yeah. Buy these gifts.
We love y'all. Thank you for joining us, and we out. Peace.